A little distance up, Shiva's chant was disturbed. At an arched twist of the road, he saw an old, shriveled man who appeared like he hadn't eaten in weeks. He had a wound on his ankle which had festered because of the humidity and neglect. He was dressed in a torn jute sack, tied precariously at his waist, and hung from his shoulders with a hemp rope. Sitting on the sidewalk, his sinewy right hand scratched vigorously at his head, disturbing the lice going about their job diligently. With his weak left hand, he precariously balanced a banana leaf, which held a piece of bread and gruel. It looked like the kind of food distributed at cheap restaurants on the donations of a few kindly or guilty souls. The kind of food that would not even be fed to animals in Meluha. Intense anger surged through Shiva. This old man was begging, nay suffering, at the doors of Lord Ram's abode, and nobody seemed to care. What kind of government would treat its people like this? In Meluha, the government assiduously nurtured all its citizens. There was enough food for everyone. Nobody was homeless. The government actually worked. This old man would not have had to endure this humiliation if he lived in Devagiri. The anger in Shiva gave way to a flood of positive energy as he realized that he had found his answer. He knew now that Parvateshwar was right. Maybe the Chandravanshis were not evil, but they led a wretched existence. The Suryavanshi system would improve their lives dramatically. There would be abundance and prosperity all around when Parvateshwar honed the moribund Chandravanshi administration. There will be some good that will come out of this war. Maybe he had not made such a terrible mistake. He thanked Lord Ram. He thought he had found his answer. Fate, however, conspired to deny Shiva this small consolation. The old beggar noticed Shiva staring at him. Shiva's sympathetic eyes and compassionate smile caused the beggar's haggard cheeks to spring to life as he smiled in return. However, it wasn't the smile of a broken man begging for alms. It was a warm, welcoming smile of a man at peace with himself. Shiva was taken aback. The old man smiled even more warmly while raising his weak hand with a great effort. "Would you like some food, my son?" Shiva was stunned. He felt small against the mighty heart of this wretched man he had thought was deserving of pity and kindness. Seeing Shiva gaping, the old man repeated, "Would you like to eat with me, son? There is enough for both." An overwhelmed Shiva could not find the strength to speak. There wasn't enough food for even one man. Why was this man offering to share what little food he had? It didn't make sense. Thinking Shiva to be hard of hearing, the old man spoke a little louder. "My son, sit with me. Eat." Shiva struggled to find the strength to shake his head slightly. "No, thank you, sir." The old man's face fell immediately. "This is good food," he said, his eyes showing the hurt he felt. "I would not offer it to you otherwise." Shiva realized that he had insulted the old man's pride. He had just treated him like a beggar. No, that's not what I meant. I know it's good food, it's just that I—" The old man interrupted Shiva's words with a warm grin. "Then sit with me, my son." Shiva nodded quietly. He sat down on the pavement. The old man turned towards Shiva and placed the banana leaf on the ground in between the two of them. Shiva looked at the bread and watery gruel, which until moments back appeared unfit for humans. The old man looked up at Shiva, his half-blind eyes beaming. "Eat." Shiva picked up a small morsel of the bread, dipped it in the gruel and swallowed. It slipped into his body easily, but weighed heavy on his soul. He could feel his righteousness being squeezed out of him as the poor old man beamed generously. "Come on, my son. If you're going to eat so little, how will you maintain your big muscular body?" A startled Shiva glanced up at the old man. The circumference of those shrunken arms would have been smaller than Shiva's wrist. The old man was taking ridiculously small bites, moving larger portions of the bread towards Shiva. Shiva could not find the heart to look up any more. As his heart sank deeper and his tears rose, he ate the portion the old man gave him quickly. The food was over in no time. Freedom. Freedom for the wretched to also have dignity. Something impossible in Meluha's system of governance. "Are you full now, my son?" Shiva nodded slowly, still not daring to look in the old man's eyes. "Good. Go. It's a long walk to the temple." Shiva looked up, bewildered at the astounding generosity being shown to him. The old man's sunken cheeks were spread wide as he smiled affectionately. He was on the verge of starvation, and yet he had given practically all his food to a stranger. Shiva cursed his own heart for the blasphemy he had committed, the blasphemy of thinking that he could actually save such a man. Shiva found himself bending forward, as if in the volition of a greater power. He extended his arms and touched the feet of the old man. The old man raised his hand and touched Shiva's head tenderly, blessing him. "May you find what you're looking for, my son."